So I guess I struck a nerve with my... I'm selling all of my Disney Star Wars figures. And yeah, and I sold a whole bunch of stuff already. Definitely lost money on the deal considering how much each figure cost individually and how much I sold them all, as a set. But, oh well, that's how it is. But I really do want to get rid of them. But not just for not liking what Disney has done for Star Wars and how they killed the franchise. But there's other stuff in my collection that I do love that I need to display. And so I gotta get rid of the crap that I just don't want, or just don't care for, so that I can make room for the stuff that I do like. So I've also been selling a lot of Marvel Legends figures, and those figures I do like. But if it's a character that I don't know, even though the toy looks cool, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that and put something in its place that I do like. Like, for example, I really don't need this Black Lantern Superman. First, I don't know what the story behind him is. I think I got him for the Build-A-Figure, and even the Build-A-Figure, it's some Red Lantern dude. Atronicus? I don't remember. He looks cool. But I only bought it to complete the wave, and I think I'll probably will keep that Build-A-Figure, but I'm probably gonna sell this guy. Maybe I'll sell him for parts because he's missing his toe somehow. But yeah, I'm just gonna make room for figures I like and get rid of the ones I don't like. Same with these. I'm gonna get rid of these Disney Star Wars books, starting with the Aftermath trilogy. This was just garbage, especially the first book. When you're reading it, this is the book that, with the new canon, oh man, what happened right after Return of the Jedi? Garbage. This book was so annoying to read. Every other chapter was an interlude, and as I'm reading, it was confusing because it kept introducing so many characters until I realized, oh, the interludes, they never go back and make any references to any of the interludes in the book. Maybe they were planting seeds for other things across the canon. But like, I think there's a chapter that explains what happens to Boba Fett's armor. I think there's also a chapter about a cult. I forget what they're named, the Beyond or something, I don't know, red lightsaber dudes, which might have been like a precursor to the Knights of Ren, I don't know. And the book, you want to know what happened to Han, Luke, and Leia, and they're not in the book at all. It starts off with Wedge. I'm like, oh cool, it's Wedge, but it introduced a whole bunch of new characters, and you really don't care. And then now here they introduce Han and Leia, and then the Aftermath. Basically, the whole trilogy is talking about how the Battle of Endor was not the battle that ended the Galactic War. No, so Disney had to come in and say, that's not how it really ends. It's 1 year later on Jakku. And you see this Star Destroyer falling. Then there's this book, The Lost Stars. And what was funny is this book pissed me off so much. And then I saw someone review this book, and I'm like, I gotta buy this book. This book is awesome. It's neat because it's kind of retelling the original trilogy from a different point of view. But it's cool. It's just awesome. Anyway, I don't care if it's a spoiler. As you get towards the end of the book, you see what's happening with the album cover, with the book cover, and hey, similar theme. What's the first thing you see in the Force Awakens trailer after Finn? You see that Star Destroyer, and so they made a big deal with the new canon books that everything was going to connect. And so as you're reading the books and you see the Star Destroyer crashing down onto Jakku, it's like, oh cool, so that's that Star Destroyer. Until you find out there's like a whole bunch of Star Destroyers all over Jakku, and you know, and that may or may not have been one of them. So that it's like, okay, well that. And then the books really made a big deal about Jakku and how it had one of the Emperor's observatories. And the observatories were, I guess, the final checkpoint before they go off to the unknown territories, if I remember correctly. No references to any of the Emperor's observatories in the sequel trilogy. I think in one of the video games they make references to his plan should he die. I forget what it's called, Operation something, Cinder, I don't know, where they show this ominous looking figure or droid, and then you see the Emperor's face, you know. But no, everything you've read in any of these books are never referenced in any of the movies. And so it was just a waste. Yeah. This book is awesome. I'm keeping this book. This book is a complete waste. It's actually a good book. Okay, if you want to know, you know, more about Captain Phasma. But what's the fucking point when she was such a pointless character in the sequel trilogy? She didn't do anything. I remember watching the trailer for the first time, and you see this chromed stormtrooper. I'm thinking she's like a bounty hunter. That's what I thought. She's a bounty hunter, and you know, and because she's Brienne of Tarth, okay, she's gonna do some badass shit. No, she silver stormtrooper. That's all. Yeah, you do find out how she got the silver. Want to know how? Naboo starship. That's the armor. Her armor is the same material of a Naboo starship, and she had it reforged into her armor. That's it. And then there's a red guy, and then, you know, and I bought that action figure and sold. And then Star Wars Resistance introduced like a gold guy. So okay, I guess the commanders of the stormtroopers, okay, they're silver, red, gold. I'm guessing there's probably a blue guy, a green guy. So because of how she was treated in the sequel films, this book is a fucking waste. But it's not all doom and gloom, because getting rid of these. This book was awesome. I really like this book. So both of these books were great. I read this book in 5 days. It was like it was a speed read for me. And then Lord of the Sith, that was just an awesome book. And then, I mean, you see this. So if you wonder what is a mission with Vader and Emperor Palpatine, what would that look like? Yeah, it's and what I loved, there's a couple of moments that I loved in this book, and one is in the early chapter where Vader's is badass, but he's also he's also having a bad day. And after he does a whole bunch of badass shit, they're at the bridge, at one of the Death Star bridge, and suddenly his that blue assistant of his that's always standing next to him in the prequels. Oh no, not was it him? I don't know. He's suddenly thrown, and Palpatine's like, "Ah, oh, Lord Vader has arrived." And yeah, Vader was pissed, and he's totally unfazed. And then later, shit's about to go down. It's Vader, the Emperor, and 2 royal guards. And shit's about to go down. The royal guards are, there to defend the Emperor. And Vader, is about to throw down. And then right when he's about to go, Palpatine turns on his lightsaber. And that's when even Vader's like, oh shit. I did not know we were in that bad of a situation where even he has to unleash his lightsaber. And that I thought that was just badass. That the fact that Vader was like, oh, oh, okay. But yeah, the whole book is awesome. Tarkin was also a really good book. So the early books were, mostly really good. I think it was just the Aftermath trilogy that was just shit. Yeah, the Tarkin book is cool. Basically, it cuts back and forth between the present and flashbacks. And in the present, he's on a mission with Vader. And Tarkin's smart. He puts 2 and 2 together, and he realizes, yeah, I think Vader's Anakin, but he never mentions it. He just kind of figures it out. And then you have the new Thrawn books, which I think I've read 2 or 3 of them. I think there's 4. I haven't read the last 2. This one was really good too. It cuts back and forth between the present and the past, and Thrawn is smart too. He kind of figures out Vader's Anakin. I think that the 2 times they were on a mission, the second time he kind of noticed similarities, and he just kind of figured, I think that's Anakin Skywalker. And when it cuts back to the flashbacks, it's in the prequel time, so you see Anakin and Padme going to some planet, which I think they wind up using in you don't see them in the sequel films, the planet that Baku or whatever. I think if you go to the Disney World and the Millennium Falcon, it's supposed to be on some planet. Yeah, whatever that planet is. They really wanted to go all in on that planet. And I think this book in the new canon introduces that armor that they make a big deal in, the acolyte that the fucking dude has in his helmet that blocks lightsabers or shuts it off. I think that's in this book too. Book is cool. And another really cool book. Let's start this up. This book is fucking awesome. This book I read very quickly. So I think I read like 200 pages like in one night just to finish it off because it was so good. And then going back to the Lost Stars, I basically wound up buying any book that Claudia Gray wrote. So I got the Star Wars Bloodline with Princess Leia. Really like that. What else did she write? She wrote one of the High Republic books, which I'm not interested in the High Republic, but I did buy her book. I'll read that one, but that's the only one I'll buy from the High Republic, but only because she wrote it. I have the From a Certain Point of View books. I read the first one. I haven't read The Empire Strikes Back or The Return of the Jedi, but now I'm like, do I even want to? I don't know. And then then there's this book. Talk about false advertising, because you have the Lords of the Sith. You definitely see this happen in the book. You do not see this happen in this book. At no time does he light up his lightsaber. This is basically how they met, and I don't even remember what happens. I do remember there's a villain in the book that I thought was cool. That's it. There is a connection between Lost Stars and New Dawn. I think the main character, the girl, I think she is in this book. I think. I think it's years later. She's now... and I think she's also in the Aftermath series. But then they make no references to her ever again. So, yeah, this book is disappointing. And finding out what Disney did to George Lucas's sequel trilogy, his treatment, make me like the Rebel series even less. Darth Maul was going to be the big bad in his trilogy with his apprentice Darth Talon. Rebels was good. I liked Rebels, and I even liked how they wrapped up, certain storylines. But when you know that George Lucas had planned for Darth Maul to survive until the sequel films, and this is a Disney product, I think they wanted to just not do anything that George Lucas had planned. And then when you see what they did with Han, Luke, and Leia, I'm definitely liking Rebels less and less. And then I have other books. So you got the Amidala books, the Leia book, Ahsoka. The Rogue One Catalyst book was really good. Written by James Luceno. He wrote the Darth Plagueis book, which is awesome. So I'm just going to go back and read the Star Wars Expanded Universe books. I finally read the Thrawn trilogy, and I loved it. So the Battlefront books, they weren't bad. They were alright. Master and Apprentice, that was a good book. Claudia Gray, see, another Claudia Gray book. Oh, I'm definitely getting rid of that Art of the Force Awakens. Complete nonsense. So, yeah, getting rid of my Disney Black Series figures. And I'm going to get rid of a lot of these Disney books. I'm going to keep the really good ones. Lords of the Sith is good, Lost Stars is good, Tarkin, the Thrawn books, Dark Disciple, good. The Claudia Gray stuff is good. So I have two Rogue One prequel books, The Catalyst and Rebel Rising. Rebel Rising is Jyn Erso's story as a child, being raised by Saw Gerrera. Yeah, it's a cool book. I think you find out what she was doing before she was captured in Rogue One. And that's how I feel about the Andor series. It should have been a book. I have no excitement for that. I didn't care for season 1. I thought it was boring. It was cool. I mean, the best thing I can say about the Andor series is that at no time did it make me roll my eyes. It wasn't cringy. It wasn't stupid. The world building was amazing. The acting was really good. It took Star Wars serious, but it was boring. And it was a character that we know is going to die, and I had no interest in the series about him. They should have just called it a different thing. Rebel Rising, you know. Yeah, I think it should have been a novel instead of a series. I don't care about season 2. Maybe I'll watch it someday, but I'm not interested in it. But yeah, same thing. I'm going to keep some of these, but sell a lot more. I do need to read this, How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, but I think they should make a sequel book, How Disney Destroyed and Killed Star Wars. But, yeah, another 21-minute rant? I don't know. I don't give a shit if you disagree with me. That's all. Click dislike if you want. Because that's what happened in the last video. Anyway, thanks for watching.